You ever notice there's a real difference between how white people get fired and how black people get fired? I ain't just talking about the firing itself. I'm talking about the reaction, the whole vibe. It's like watching two completely different movies. Same script, totally different actor. See, when a white person gets fired, it's almost like a disappointment. It's like they were shocked. Oh my God, this can't be happening. I've been here 11 years. Yeah, that's exactly why it is happening, Todd. You've been here too long. They don't even remember what your job title is no more. You sitting in meetings with a clipboard, and ain't nobody asking you for nothing. That's a sign right there. But they still get surprised like it's the plot twist at the end of a murder mystery. And they'll say things like, I'm going to write a letter. I'll have my lawyer look into this. Write a letter. Man, black people don't write letters when they get fired. We write rants. We walk straight out the building talking to ourselves like we on a Bluetooth. Oh, okay, that's how they want to play this. Cool. I saw this coming. Been smelling something fishy ever since they moved me next to the vending machine. Now let me tell you something. A black person knows when the storm is coming. We got that spiritual instinct. We be sitting at the desk feeling the tension. You start hearing your name get quiet around the office. That one supervisor who used to always say, good morning, now just look at you and nod. You know what that nod means. That's that brace yourself nod. Black folks start packing up their stuff before they even get the call to HR. I ain't leaving my mug, that's my auntie's gift. Got my lotion, my hot sauce, my charger. Yep, I'm good. And see, when that moment finally comes, the white person be sitting in HR like, is there any way we can fix this? Meanwhile, the black person done already called their cousin. Yeah, man, it happened. They got me. You was right. I should have left last year when they moved me to that dusty cubicle in the corner with no light. It's two different cultures, man. White folks be looking for logic and paperwork, trying to get explanations and closure. Black folks, we looking for peace of mind and that last piece of dignity we walked in with. We ain't asking questions. We taking our stapler and going home. But here's the crazy part. It's funny, yeah? He'll make you laugh till you cry. But there's truth about how we were raised, how we survive, how we navigate the world. Black folks live with the idea that anything can happen. We've been taught to watch our back and our front. That ain't paranoia. That's preparation. Getting fired don't just hit the paycheck, it hit the pride. But the real difference is this. One side of the table is shocked they lost something. The other side of the table been expecting something to go wrong. That's why we walk out with our head high, shoulders back, mumbling. They ain't break me, they just freed me. And sometimes, family, that firing wasn't the end of your story. It was just God's way of saying, I got something better, just wait till you see it. You know, black folks got this gift. That inner voice that tells us when something ain't right. You ain't even gotta hear it from nobody. You just feel it in your spirit. That energy shift, that moment when things stop flowing like they used to. You walk in the job and the air feel different. Nobody said a word, but you can smell the shift. You look around the office like, something's. You might not know exactly what it is, but deep down, you know, something's coming. That's survival instincts, baby. That spiritual radar tuned into the nonsense. See, white folks, bless their heart, they don't always catch the signs. They still in the lunchroom eating turkey sandwiches and talking about the company picnic. Meanwhile, black folks sitting at the desk thinking, why my login taking longer than usual? Or, why HR been walking back and forth past my cubicle all morning? We notice everything. You know how many black folks done quietly emptied half their drawer the day before the meeting, got the picture of their kid, the Bible verse from the wall, the family reunion cup, just in case. Because something in our soul whispers, get ready. And the thing is, it's not just paranoia, it's wisdom passed down. Our parents, our grandparents, they told us, don't ever get too comfortable. That comfort will trap you. That comfort will lull you into believing that just because you do your job, you're safe. Nah, baby, not in our world. We gotta stay woke, stay alert, stay ready. Because history taught us that we ain't always the first ones promoted, but we might just be the first ones let go. And ain't it funny how, before the storm hits, you start seeing little clues? They stop inviting you to meetings. You stop getting those great job emails. That manager that used to laugh at your jokes now walk past you like you invisible. You walk in the break room and everything gets quiet. Zzz. You ask where the donuts are and everybody act like they fasting. Oh yeah, that's that silence before the thunder. That's how we know. And we don't ignore it. We start packing piece by piece. Not out of fear, out of wisdom. Because you learn in life not to wait until the door hits you, dude. Sometimes you pack your dignity and exit before they even call you in. Black people read the room. We read it with our eyes, with our spirit, with our mama's voice in our head saying, baby, when folks start acting different, believe them. We ain't got the luxury to be shocked when things go left. We've lived in the curve. That's why we prepare our exit, like we preparing for church. Sharp, graceful, confident. We leave with our chin up, knowing we gave that job more than it ever gave us. It's a different kind of awareness. White folks be waiting for a memo. Black folks, we feel it in the floorboards. And we ain't crazy for it. We're just seasoned. Seasoned by a life that's taught us to listen to energy, to pay attention to vibes, to trust that quiet voice when it whispers, they moving funny. So yeah, we see it coming. We don't wait for the pink slip. We already talked to God, cleaned our desk, updated the resume, and got our piece lined up. Because we know when something ain't right, that usually means something better is on the way. And sometimes that uneasy feeling ain't fear. It's God clearing the room, making space for your next miracle. There's a big difference between how white folks and black folks operate in the workplace. And it all comes down to one simple thing: trust. White people trust the system. They believe in the policies, the HR department, the mission statement on the wall. They think if you show up on time, hit your numbers, and bring cupcakes to the office birthday party, you're good, protected, safe. They believe if they play by the rules will protect them. That's a beautiful mindset, but it's not one black folks were raised with. See, black folks don't trust systems. We trust instincts. We trust grandma's voice in the back of our mind. That gut feeling that say, something ain't adding up. We were raised to keep one eye open, even when we sleeping. We believe in hard work, yes, but we also believe in reading the room, watching for shade, and never putting all our eggs in one basket that don't belong to us. You ever seen a white person get called into HR? They walk in calm, notebook in hand, fully expecting a fair conversation. They believe in open door policies like they believe in gravity. They'll be in there saying things like, I know I did my job, and I've had excellent performance reviews. Meanwhile, black folks, man, we already sent out a group text before we walked in that room. Y'all pray for me. Just email me to come by for a quick chat. And we don't trust quick chats. We trust preparation. We walk in there with emails saved, documents printed, and our spirit already halfway out the door, just in case. White folks think the system is built to work for them. And truthfully, in many cases it has. So they move through it with ease, with confidence, with the kind of belief that says, if I do right, they'll do right. Black folks, we move through that same system with strategy. We smile, we nod, but we always peep in game. We keep our receipts. We know that fairness ain't always promised, and just doing your job don't always protect you when they start trimming the fat. That's not bitterness, that's experience. We don't walk through the front door thinking we family. We walk in understanding this is a business, and at any moment, we could be replaced. That's why black people always got a side hustle, or at least a dream tucked away. We got plan B, C, and D written on the back of a napkin in the glove compartment. We trust our grind. We trust our God. But that system now, we watch it too long flip on folks like a switch. You ever see a black employee start moving real quiet, not talking much, just focused? That's not them being antisocial. That's them getting their house in order. They felt the shift. They saw the writing on the wall. And instead of crying about it, they already thinking next move. That's how we were raised, to stay 3 steps ahead of the game, especially when the game ain't built for you to win. It's not that we don't want to trust the system. We just been burned by it too many times. So now we trust what we know, our intuition, our hustle, our prayer life, and that feeling deep down that tells us when to stay and when to go. And let me tell you something. When you learn to trust yourself more than the system, you stop begging for a seat at the table and start building your own table. Because the system might give you a job, but your instincts, your faith, and your grind, that's what builds your future. Now let me tell you, the real comedy and the real truth is in what happens after you get fired. See, there's a whole emotional roller coaster folks go on, but the way white people and black people handle that ride, man, it's like 2 different amusement parks. White folks get fired and go straight into organization mode. They write letters, long letters, with bullet points and references and dates. They want to schedule a meeting to process their experience. They'll call HR the next day saying things like, "I think this was a misunderstanding. I've contributed greatly to this company over the years, and I'd like to explore my legal options." Legal options? Man, black folks barely trying to figure out where their last check at. Now black folks? Oh, it's a whole different kind of response. First off, we saw it coming, so it don't hit quite as hard. But when it does hit, we don't write letters. We write memory books. We sit around with our friends telling stories like, "You remember that time I told y'all Sharon was sneaky? Yep, she was the one who set that whole thing up." We dissect the whole situation like it was a crime scene. We in the group chat talking about. It's always the quiet ones in HR. Always. And somewhere in that mix, there's always one cousin that say, "You want me to go up there?" No, cousin Derek. We don't need you to go up there with your Timberlands and your attitude. White folks go through stages: denial, sadness, bargaining, acceptance. Real textbook stuff, black folks, we go through 3 fast stages: shock, rant, and reinvention. We rant first loudly and proudly. We talk to ourselves. We talk to the TV. We even talk to God. "Lord, you know I was getting tired of that job anyway, but you couldn't give me 2 weeks notice, just 2. Then we call everybody we know and replay the moment over and over like we got a rewind button in our brain. They ain't even looked me in the eye when they said it, man. They just slid the paper across the desk like I was ordering food. And while white folks be looking up employment attorneys, black folks be in the break room plotting before we even leave. Not revenge, exactly. But we might unplug a keyboard, hide a stapler, or leave that one drawer open just to make it slightly inconvenient for whoever replaces us. Oh, they gonna remember I was here, might not miss me, but they gonna feel this drawer that won't close right. See, it's all about how we've been taught to process pain. White people expect systems to make things right. They believe in resolution, clarity, closure. Black folks, we expect to have to heal ourselves. We learn early on, ain't nobody gonna explain everything to you. Sometimes all you get is a final paycheck and a cold goodbye. So we turn that pain into jokes, into prayer, into hustle. We may not get closure, but best believe we gonna find peace. Somehow, some way. And let's be honest, there's something powerful in that. In laughing through the loss. In using humor to keep your dignity. In turning that hurt into motivation. Cause once that rant is over, we already cooking up our next move. A lot of black folks start their business right after getting fired. That little push from the universe was the last thing we needed. We start saying things like, "I should have left anyway. This just made it easier." And the next thing you know, you see us online selling shirts, cutting hair, consulting, or running our own show. Because we ain't built to stay down. We're built to bounce back, fired or not. And sometimes the rant ain't a breakdown. It's the sound of a comeback being born. Now let's get real about something. This whole thing about getting fired, how folks respond, how they carry it. It goes a whole lot deeper than just personalities. It reveals something powerful. It tells you everything you need to know about culture, upbringing, and survival mindset. See, when you look at how people handle getting let go, you're not just looking at reactions. You're looking at history. You're looking at the blueprint of how they were raised to see the world. White folks, most of the time, grow up believing that the world is basically fair. They believe in systems. They believe if you follow the rules, pay your taxes, do your job, then everything should work out in your favor. That's why when they get fired, it feels like a betrayal. It's like, wait a minute, I did everything right. How could this happen? And you know what? That makes sense, because their trust in the system was built into their upbringing. From school to work to life, they were taught to believe they belonged wherever they showed up. That's why their first move is to ask for answers, send an email, maybe even consult a lawyer. They're not being dramatic. They're just doing what they were taught. Now, black folks, oh no, we weren't raised like that. We were raised with one eye open and one foot ready to move. We were raised with phrases like, you gotta work twice as hard and don't ever get too comfortable. That mindset ain't paranoia. That's protection. Because deep down, we were told that the system wasn't built with us in mind. So when we get fired, we don't feel betrayed. We feel confirmed. We don't think, how could this happen? We think, I knew it was gonna happen sooner or later. That's not giving up. That's preparing ourselves mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We don't trust that being a good employee is enough. We know that the second we speak up too loud, ask too many questions, or shine too bright, we might be next. This is about upbringing, about what you're taught to expect from the world. When you grow up believing the world is a fair place, you fight injustice with structure. But when you grow up knowing the world is unpredictable, you fight back with instinct, with spirit, and with creativity. That's why after getting fired, you see some folks writing formal appeal letters and others writing bars in their notebook, working on a dream they've been pushing aside. Two different reactions, same pain, different wiring. Stripping away the false, because sometimes the greatest promotion in your life starts with one word you never saw coming: terminated.